All right, guys, for this video, we're going to go over the last method of graphing lines. We're going to find the x and y intercept, and we're just going to connect those 2 points. We're going to get our line. Before we do that, we're just going to use this as a little intro. Let's graph it the old way. If I had to graph this y equals 2x minus 4, I know my slope is this 2, so I'm going to write it here as 2 over 1. So it means I go up 2 to the right 1. I know the y-intercept here is negative 4, so I'm going to put m as negative 4. Okay. Remember, I always begin with the b. So the first point, I'm going to go down from the origin 4 units to 2, 3, 4. It's going to go right there. So I'm going to put that dot 1, 2, right here. And then my slope is 2 over 1, so I'm going to go up 2 to the right 1. So I'm going to go up 2 to the right 1. I'm going to get a point right there, which is right here. And then I'm going to do it one more time. All right, from here, I'm going to go up 1, 2 to the right 1. And I get that point right there, right here. Okay, I'm going to connect, and I have my line. Now, the 2 points that I'm going to pick out, I'll put in a different color, is this point. That ordered pair is 2, 0. This is my x-intercept because it hits the x-axis. And this point, which I already know, that's the b value or the y-intercept. Right, the y-intercept, that ordered pair is what? 0, negative 4. Now here's the main connection that we're going to come up with, is that if we're finding the x-intercept, notice how the y's value is 0. If I'm finding the y-intercept, notice how the x value is 0. That's always going to happen. That's going to be our connection. All right. So if I were to put, let's see here, if I were to pick any point on this y-axis, the x value is always 0. All right. So that's why I got this x value to be 0. If I were to pick any point that's on this x-axis, the y value is always 0 here. So that's why for the x-intercept, my y value is always 0. All right. So we're just going to put down right here, to find the x-intercept, we're going to put let y equal 0, and then we're going to solve for x. Okay, sorry if my handwriting's a little sloppy there. Right, that's for the x-intercept. To find the point that intersects the y-axis, we let the opposite variable equal 0. So we're going to let x equal 0, and then we're going to solve for y. Okay, so let's put, solve for y. All right. Okay, so we're going to apply this to the first problem down low. And if you look at the first problem down low, this is where it's not in slope-intercept form. See how number 1, number 2, I don't have y by itself? So if you ever have it that you have, this is called standard form, if you have an x and a y and then equals a constant, this is actually the quickest method, because you don't have to get y by itself. So for the x-intercept, what I'm going to do is, for the x-intercept, I'm going to let y equal 0. So I'm going to zoom in here, make this a little bit bigger. All right. So for this x-intercept, I'm going to let y equal 0. So if I do that in my equation, I have 2x plus 4 times 0 equals 8. Okay, then you see 4 times 0, well, that's just 0. So then you're just left with a two-step equation. You're just left with 2x equals 8. Well, if you solve for that and divide by 2, you get x to equal 4. So that's your x-intercept. Now the ordered pair for that, I'm going to write right up here, is 4, and then the y value is 0. So I'm going to plot that point. 4, 0 is right here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Here's that point 4, 0. So I'm going to put a dot there, right here. Now for the y-intercept, I'm going to put this in green here. For the y-intercept, I'm going to let x equal 0. So when I do this work, I'm going to have 2 times 0 plus 4y equals 8. And then you can see 2 times 0, that just goes away. Then you're just left with this one-step equation. If 4y equals 8, when you divide by 4, you're going to get y to equal 2. So for the y-intercept, the ordered pair is 0, 2. So if I were to graph that, 0, 2, right, 2 is my y-intercept, I just go up 2, and I just get that point right there. So right there, I'm going to put a green dot. And there I have it. I just have 2 points. And I just connect the x and the y-intercept, and I have my line right here. So when you graph by this method, you're only going to get 2 points. The point that hits the x-axis and the point that hits the y-axis. You connect those 2 points, and you have your line.